Two antivirus products. Two different directions the same threat runs. Avast sold browsing data from 100 million devices to over 100 companies for 6 years. The clients included Google, Microsoft, McKinsey, Pepsi, Home Depot, and Omnicom. The FTC fined it $16.5 million. The Czech Data Protection Authority fined it a further $14.8 million. Two regulators, two jurisdictions, $31.3 million in combined fines, and the same finding from both what Avast called anonymous was not. Kaspersky has never had an equivalent confirmed data exfiltration finding. The concern about Kaspersky is structural. The company was founded by a graduate of the technical faculty of the KGB Higher School, operates substantially from Russia, and is subject to Russian law's compelled cooperation requirements no Swiss data center can override. The US government banned it. Germany warned about it. The FCC designated it a national security threat. And on September 19, 2024, Kaspersky used its deep system access to silently delete itself from 1 million American computers and install a different, untested product without notification or consent. One threat is documented and fined, the other is structural and demonstrated. This video places both in the same frame. Avast was founded in Prague in 1988 by Pavel Baudy and Edward Quera. The product was free for home users from the start, grew through word of mouth and genuine trust, and reached 200 million users by 2013. That trust was the asset Jumpshot monetized. Avast acquired Jumpshot around 2013. The internal pitch was precise, the only company that unlocks walled garden data. Collection began August 1, 2014 from 6 affected products, including Avast Free Antivirus, Avast Premium Security, Avast Online Security, Avast Secure Browser, AVG Online Security, and Avast Antivirus Mobile. The data, every URL visited, search terms typed, YouTube viewing history, pornography site visits, health queries, each timestamped to the millisecond. The anonymization Avast claimed protected users was confirmed broken by Vladimir Palant in January 2020. URLs sometimes contained email addresses, and the data stream was specific enough to re-identify individuals through behavioral fingerprinting. Vice Motherboard and PC Mag published their joint investigation January 26, 2020. The full client list: Google, Microsoft, McKinsey, Bain, Pepsi, Home Depot, Yelp, Condé Nast, Keurig, Expedia, L'Oréal, TripAdvisor, Omnicom, Intuit. Avast announced Jumpshot's shutdown 3 days later. The FTC's $16.5 million settlement followed in June 2024. The Czech Data Protection Authority's 351 million Czech crowns fine followed in April 2024. Both findings confirmed the same thing: not a breach, not a hack, but a deliberate product design decision. A subsidiary built to sell what the antivirus saw, running for nearly 7 years while the marketing described privacy protection. Kaspersky was formally founded in Moscow in June 1997 by Eugene Kaspersky, his then-wife Natalia Kaspersky, and Alexei Demondarik. Eugene Kaspersky's education: the technical faculty of the KGB Higher School, a Soviet military intelligence institution. He has spent his career insisting this means nothing about his loyalties. Governments have spent 3 decades insisting it is the relevant structural fact. The concern about Kaspersky has never been a specific proven backdoor. It is jurisdictional. Russian law creates a structural pathway for state-compelled cooperation. Kaspersky's antivirus has kernel-level, always-on access to every action on the host machine. A Caron analysis confirmed FSB-related licenses existed in Kaspersky's product stack. Whether that access has been used for state intelligence purposes has never been confirmed by any public evidence. Whether it could be compelled under Russian law is not a question Zurich data centers can answer. The US government's position, formalized through the Department of Homeland Security in 2017 and the Commerce Department ban in 2024, is that this structural jurisdictional risk is unacceptable for software with that level of system access. Germany, the UK, and the FCC reached the same structural conclusion without going as far as a full ban. When Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, Eugene Kaspersky called it a tragedy and expressed hope for a resolution. He did not issue a forceful condemnation. For a company whose geopolitical credibility problem is entirely about Russian government proximity, the silence was strategically damaging. On September 19, 2024, Kaspersky silently deleted itself from 1 million US computers and installed Ultra AV without on-screen notification. The product it installed had not been tested by any independent lab. The capability the governments had warned about for 7 years demonstrated itself in the most public possible way. The H2H comparison between Avast and Kaspersky is the most analytically instructive in the series because the two failure types are structurally different, and placing them side by side reveals what they share underneath. Avast's failure is confirmed and quantified: 6 years, 100 million devices, 14 named clients including Google and McKinsey, $31.3 million in regulatory fines across 2 jurisdictions. The mechanism is documented in Vice's reporting, Palant's technical analysis, and the FSB's findings. It is not disputed. It is not structural. It happened. Kaspersky's failure is structural and demonstrated rather than confirmed. No public smoking gun data exfiltration, a government ban applied through rulemaking rather than a criminal finding, and an architectural risk that Swiss transparency centers can surface but cannot eliminate. Then, September 19, 2024, the capability demonstrated. Not for espionage. Not directed by the FSB. But the software deleted itself and installed a different product on 1 million computers without consent, which is precisely the action 7 years of government warnings described as the risk. Rob Joyce, former NSA Director of Cybersecurity, described it: they had total control of your machine. Avast had the same total control of 100 million machines. Avast used that control to send browsing data to Pepsi and McKinsey. Kaspersky used it to install Ultra AV. Neither asked permission. Both demonstrated that the trust extended to antivirus software can be exercised in directions the user never anticipated. The shared lesson is not that antivirus is bad. The shared lesson is that the access antivirus requires is consequential regardless of whether the company deploying it is a Czech freemium product or a Moscow-founded company operating under Russian law. The case for choosing Avast over Kaspersky in 2026 is narrow but coherent. Jumpshot is gone, permanently banned from advertising targeted data resale by a binding FTC order that also required deletion of all derived models. The company accepted regulatory consequences in 2 jurisdictions and paid $31.3 million in combined fines. The current Avast One product is a genuine evolution with independently certified protection. The threat from Avast is a documented past practice that is legally foreclosed from resumption in its specific previous form. The case for choosing Kaspersky over Avast outside the United States rests on one thing: the protection engine is better. AvComparative's 2025 testing gave Kaspersky a 99.99% malware protection rate. No equivalent commercial surveillance scandal exists in the public record. The Transparency Initiative, while unable to resolve the jurisdictional question, is real and ongoing. For a user whose threat model centers on malware and phishing rather than state-level access risk, and who is not based in the United States or working in a sensitive role, Kaspersky's detection record is the strongest case in its favor. For most users considering both, Bitdefender and ESET provide equivalent or comparable detection quality with none of the history attached to either platform. Neither is owned by a company with FTC enforcement history. Neither operates under a jurisdiction with compelled cooperation requirements that independent auditors cannot fully evaluate from outside. They are the cleanest options in the series. Avast sold your data to companies that included Pepsi and McKinsey for 6 years while describing itself as privacy protection. Kaspersky could be required to give your data to the FSB under Russian law and demonstrated its privileged access by silently installing software on 1 million computers without consent. One threat is documented, fined, and legally constrained. The other is structural, unresolved, and proven as a capability on September 19, 2024. Neither is hypothetical anymore.